It was like when people move out of an office, taking everything with them, leaving only the telephone behind. That's the feeling the phone gave off, having been left in the corner of the cell. The cord was wound up into a coil and the tip of being swallowed up by the wall. And just looking at it, there was no reason to assume that it wasn't hooked up. But to think that it actually was. Curie took the receiver from Shin and pressed it to her ear. Certainly the electric hum of a phone was a familiar sound. And this phone was certainly live. Calling the police immediately. Police, yes, can you please come to this island? Fuck the typhoon, I don't care, there are people dead here. Yes. No. Call the police. Kraus, I don't care if it's too good to be true. Call the police first. I give two shits if it's bugged. What? Who cares? Who cares if it's bugged? There'd be no point. We're already in a jail cell. Who cares if it's bugged? What, are they gonna hear us call the police? Yeah, there are people being murdered on this island. How would they use that information for us? Exactly. Surely that was true. The point of a wiretap is to overhear some important piece of information. Yeah, what do they gain from wiretapping us? I mean, seriously, Kraus, come on. I mean, I get he's trying to be cautious and all that, but it's like, who cares? But the way things were right now, then, she wouldn't think of a single thing that would come up in a conversation with the outside world that might be troublesome to overhear. Kyrie instantly concluded that it was more likely to be a mistake on Kenzo's part than a trap. Why can't everyone look out there? Why is it just at the cannon? I think you'll hear someone because, you know, it seems to be like a nice hallway, so you'll hear the footsteps echoing. Don't need to sense anybody. Cannon raced off towards the iron bars, silenced his breathing and strained his ears. As everyone present watched, heard, Kyrie dialed 110. 0110. However, she paused, pushed the hook down and redialed many times. It didn't seem to be working very well. Yeah, Cross, I've been dialing it wrong. I don't know how to use a fucking phone. Cross took the receiver in Curie's place and tested various things. Yeah, I fucking dialed wrong. Get the hell out of here. It's 4 numbers. But in the end, they were unable to notify the police. The phone itself was definitely live, but the circuit was apparently cut somewhere. Did this mean they were not so naive? No, we still can probably call inside the mansion, though. Well, I mean, I really did doubt that they would have let us call outside, but I mean, might as well try it. Curie let out a deep sigh, leaned against the wall, and hung her head for a while. As cool thinking as she was, for a brief moment she may actually have had the naive hope that the phone might actually work. I figured it wouldn't. Don't get your hopes up, might as well try, but don't get your hopes up. She sneered at herself mockingly for holding on to that naive hope for even a single moment. Then she remembered just what was happening to her. Happening here. Truth be told, even after being shown a scene like that right before her eyes, or rather exactly because of that, she still couldn't think of the gruesome mass murderer as something real. It was less that she couldn't believe in, more that she didn't want to. Ushirimiya Kenzo killed 6 family members. He summoned strange witch-like, demon-like people, right out of the thin air, and with something like magic, began to kill people one after another. It was all just so screwed up. Even though she definitely saw it, there was no way she could accept that spectacle.
あるわけがない。
Clearly.
あれはきっとお父様の友人か何か。
Your friends?
それがあらかじめ食堂のどこかに隠れていて、手品的に突然姿を現して私たちを驚かせただけなんだわ。
Shit ton of LSD before getting onto this island.
そう考えなくちゃあのめちゃくちゃを説明できない。
But when those six had their heads blown apart, a golden arrow had flown around and around the room. That it truly looked like magic. Was that another thing we just saw wrong? There's no way it was magic. It was definitely some kind of setup. Since those heads were smashed, there's no doubt it was some kind of explosive. For example, a styrene toy plane like they sell at a candy store is painted gold. Styrofoam toy plane with a powerful explosive loaded into the end of it. What? However, though it had seemed to be flying around about at random, Curie couldn't imagine that after being fired 6 times, each time it perfectly hit the victim square in the head one after another. It couldn't be that there was a computer control system for finding and hitting targets, making it a high-tech styrene plane on the same level as a guided missile, right? Yeah, it's a fucking guided missile. Curie, come on. That's why I think some gas was pumped into that room. Which might have made him hallucinate. Because I don't actually have to explain, like, you know, the guy, if Nancha's in on it, he could probably get gas. Because, you know, he has a medical background, he could probably get it to the island very easily and just have it pumped in at the same time. And then kill, you know, 6 people in there. And make it seem like all that stuff's happening. I think that's possible. Because I don't think I necessarily have to explain fully like how something happened. I just have to give like a reason of how it could have happened. Because, you know, that's my human explanation. I just have to give reasonable doubt and shit like that. A number of mysterious people appeared out of thin air. 6 people had their heads demolished by a mysterious golden flying object, and the 5 of us were locked away in a mysterious dungeon by a mysterious set of pitfalls, or else put to sleep by some fainting poison dart. The family conference started a bit after 10 o'clock. It's only been a mere bit more than 30 minutes since then, most likely, even though I witnessed it myself. That event took place in such a short period of time, so I can't understand it, and I still can't come to grips with it. For argument's sake, even if we did get a hold of the police, it would probably be impossible for anyone to accurately explain what we saw. You don't have to. You just have to say, we saw 6 people being murdered. And we're trapped. Please send somebody. Not somebody. Send the force. Send fleets upon fleets of people. Come on now. Send the SWAT. Even though I just saw it now, my brain's fried and I have no confidence in what I saw myself. Because once they get there and, you know, see the murder and just say, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I think I was drugged. You go to the hospital, they test your blood and all that. Good stuff, right? So there's still a lot of things that will happen, or at least should happen, if, you know, if the police were able to be notified, I should say. Curie tried her hardest to cheer herself up of her overwhelming confusion, just to hold on to her sanity. Cross started to become desperate, hitting the hook multiple times and resetting the dial. Oh, hey, Cross, any better luck? Cross, who had also feigned composure, but he was unable to hide his panic. The more he retried the dial, the more the pretense of serenity peeled away. I don't know what's going on anymore. Curie couldn't help but pray about that the event that just occurred were a dream. And at that time, the look on Cross's face changed. What? I don't think that's how outside lines work, though. But if it doesn't work for a while, it just decides to work eventually.
本当ですか、クラウスさん。なるほど。おやじめ、浅はかな。警察に連絡されまいと外部への電話線は切断したらしいが、内線は切断し損ねている。
Well, yeah, obviously. Are you gonna... God damn it, Kraus.
内戦?
That doesn't really solve anything. We're gonna, like, say, oh, hey, you kids are alive. That's nice. We're trapped in some dungeon. I don't know where we are, and, you know, we're telling you just to be worried about us. And it's probably not gonna end well.
クラウスさんはどこにかけているの?
ゲストハウスだ。ジェシカたちの部屋の内線番号にかけている。もしもし、もしもし、私だ。お前は誰か？ゴーダか？ジェシカはいるか？無事か？
No!
旦那様、ご無事でよかった。はい。ジェシカお嬢様たちの皆さんご無事です。
父さんなの?
Oh, don't worry about it.
無事でよかった。母さんは無事なの? そこにいるの?
Kraus choked on his words. Kraus had clearly seen Natsui's head crush and had seen her killed right before his eyes. Eventually, he was going to have to tell that to Jessica. But not over the phone. That's usually not phone-worthy conversations. Just gonna say that. However, Kraus began to fret over whether he should tell her now or not, and lost his voice. That's an in-person conversation. But even that was an answer under these circumstances. 無事を祈ろう。今はお前だけでも無事でよかった。That's not your fault. Jessica's voice was filled with tears. Kraus was certain now. Jessica and the rest had heard everything start to finish after meeting up with Goda and Kumasawa at the guest house. You guys told... God damn. Well, I mean, to be fair, you kind of have to. But, come on. When they learned that 6 people had been killed, they must have been anxious to rush over to the dining hall. Luckily, he'd been able to call before they'd stormed off towards the mansion. Kraus was relieved at this good timing during such a tragedy. First, we have to get out of here, and then we have to find out where the hell we are. Well, if I knew where, I'd tell you where. Let's be honest, this is probably under the chapel, if we're really gonna guess. That would be foolish, I'm just saying. Yes. He hasn't been in a sane state of mind for a really long time now. Sit down, stay put, and lock that door. Sit down, stay put, lock the door. That's not a really good thing to say, but okay. That's not how an Uchiromiya lady talks. See? I don't know if bringing up her dead mother legitimately 30 minutes after she's been killed is a, you know, a good point to make. I think that's just a bit tactless.
とにかくお前たちは身の安全を最優先にしろ。
That's what I always do.
ゲストハウスを戸締まりするんだ。しかし過信はできない。1階のラウンジの大窓は破られるかもしれない。その部屋にとどまり、ベッドを立てかけてバリケードにする。
Just a bed. I'm using all the chairs and shit to barricade that. Fuck that noise. I'm barricading the stairs as well. See, what you do is barricade the two front doors, you know, barricade the window as well. Barricade the stairs and put shit on, like, you know, in the way there. And really just, you know, like jam a couch, like, in the stairwell. You know, just, you know, break it into the wall. Because, you know, it's just, you know, it's just a drywall plaster wall, probably. So you can probably break into that a little bit, wedge a chair in there, or a couch. And you just completely wall yourself into, you know, the very last part of the room. So they have to go through fuck tons of layers of defenses to get into your room.
その部屋にはトイレと冷蔵庫があり、明日の朝までは籠城できるはずだ。いいな。くれぐれも物騒なことは考えるな。母さんの仇を取ろうなんて絶対に考えるんじゃないぞ。
Okay, just saying that makes me want to take more revenge. Okay, so don't say that.
相手を刺激せず、隠れてやり過ごすことだけを考えるんだ。
After that, Goda took the phone, and was firmly told to supervise the kids well as an adult. Goda, with his face covered in a cold sweat, repeatedly replied, yes sir, in an excessively tense tone. Is Kirie gonna talk to, you know, about... Oh, okay, there you go. I was really gonna ask, you know, if like, that's actually gonna happen, because if it's just Kraus talking to Jessica, it's like, it kind of shafts everyone else in there, right? Don't you think? From then, Kirie took the receiver and spoke with Battler, and then Shen and Kennen took their turns with George and Jessica. Following that pattern, Nanjo and Kumasawa picked up as well, so that all the numbers on both sides took the receiver in turn. Nanjo and Kumasawa have a thing? What? Confirming that everyone is safe for now, even if their location was unknown, and encouraging each other, coming to an understanding of the current situation for both sides. They wanted to talk forever, but now was not the time to chat. Kraus explained that they would be hanging out for now, and those in the guest house consented. We'll call you if we get out. There you go. We'll call you if we, you know, find a way out of here and say we're coming to the guest house. And, you know, at that point, unbarricade your stuff so we can get in. Oh yeah, those other people. Oh yeah, those people. With that, the phone call ended. It's still strange Cannon whispered that. I don't see a reason for that. And that still hasn't slipped my mind. That's definitely going to be up there for why. There has to be a reason that he whispered to Shannon. Goda and the rest of the men quickly descended to the first floor, closed the shutters, and secured the sturdy locks on the doors. However, just as Cross had worried, there was nothing that could be done about the beautiful wide window on the first floor lounge. If someone broke that, it would be easy to get inside. It wouldn't be hard for someone like Kenja, who hadn't hesitated at committing murder, to invade the first floor.
おじいさまたちは武装している可能性が高い。部屋に閉じこもるのが最善かつ唯一の籠城方法になるね。
Yeah, P.S. Get all the food and liquids that you can and put it in there as well.
自ら密室に閉じこもらざるを得ないのは苦しいところだけど、相手が銃を持っていたらそれしか方法がない。
Set up a choke point.
親方様は実銃のコレクションをお持ちとの話です。
Actually, the stairs would be a perfect choke point. Like, you know, if someone's like climbing up the stairs not expecting someone, you could jump on top of him and break his neck.
そう、あれは銃だ。銃だったんだ。だとしたら恐ろしい威力の銃だ。 とても太刀打ちはできません。
There are some guns that can blow half a head off.
頭を砕くなんてすげえ威力だぜ。
Yeah, I don't know the exact pounds per square inch, but it is a lot. Kind of like a watermelon.
マグナム弾とかそういう類のやつかもな。下手な扉なら平気で貫通するかもしれねえな。
You usually don't just blindly shoot through doors, though.
だとすればますますに部屋に籠城するべきだね。ベッドを立てかけて窓も塞ごう。そこまですればいくら銃を持っていても踏み込むことはできないはず。くそ、そんな受け身な防戦一方しかねえのかよ。
Best offense is a good defense, man.
くっしょ、うちの親父に上等機、こいつは高くつくぞ。クソじじいめ。
And if your shit really starts hitting the fan, you can just unbarricade the window and jump out the window when they're dealing with, the barricaded door.
無理です。あんな連中に太刀打ちできるわけがありません。
Goda, what the fuck is wrong with you?
しかも親方様だけでなく手下も何人も。
Get out!
あるいはあんな連中がもっといるかも。
What are you doing?
あいつらは一体何なんだ。
Whose side are you on? Battler was filled to the brim with the urge to get revenge for Rudolph and to rush out of here to save Kyrie. But just by looking at how terrified Goda was, there was no doubt in him that this would be reckless.
兄貴だって悔しいだろ。なのにここで籠城なんて。ちくしょ。
Oh yeah, I'd rather not be killed as well. Come on.
もちろんさ、僕だって悔しいよ。両親を殺されて冷静でいられるわけがない。でもだからこそ冷静にならなくちゃいけない。
Rushing out of here would be the exact opposite of a good decision.
僕たちが無駄に命を落とすようなことを思うわけがない。せめて子供だけは逃げ延びてほしいと願ってるはずだ。だから僕はそして警察に通報し全てを暴く。仇は法廷が取る。
Oh no, I'd go Punisher on their ass and kill him, but I'm a vengeful motherfucker.
それが僕の復讐だ。
Fuck the court. They're not gonna probably put him to death. I'll put him to death.
差し違えてでも仇を取ってほしいなんて親たちが望んでいるわけもない。そうだろう。そうだな。兄貴の言う通りだぜ。ちくしょう、クソじじいめ。何か儀式だ。俺たちがそのための生贄だって言うなら意地でも逃げ切ってその儀式を台無しにしてやるぜ。それでいいよ。
We'll solve the epitaph and that'll ruin it.
それにバトラ君にはまだキリエさんがいる。僕にだってシャノンがいる。とにかく慎重に行動してチャンスを待とう。僕たちの不用意な行動は囚われの彼らに不利益を与える可能性だってあるんだから。人質か。でもじい様はきっとキリエさんたちを生贄にするために捕らえたわけだろう。
Yeah, it's more like he's just holding them for guarantees.
俺たちが助けなきゃ殺されるのを待つだけじゃないのか。
Yeah, they're waiting to be
彼らが捉えられ
slaughtered.
ている地下牢がどこにあるかもわからない。シャノンもカノン君ももちろんゴーダさんも熊沢さんも知らなかった。おじい様だけしか知らない秘密の場所にある可能性が極めて高い。そんな状況下でうろうろと歩き回るのは自殺行為だよ。
That is true.
分かってるよ。それでもくそ、俺たちはここで何かが起こるまで引き
Yes.
こもってるしかねえってのかよ。
Yes.
バトラ様のお気持ちはわかりますが、ここは安全第一で参りましょう。旦那様の話では相当古い牢屋らしいので、なんとか鉄格子を破れるかもしれないとのことでした。今は信じて待つ方が賢明です。
おじい様の手下が何人もいてみんな武装しているんだよね。
ええ、そうです。そして多分みんな武装を。
Goda had been able to say that Kenzo had comrades with him, but he hadn't been able to mention that they were mostly young women, like witches, who had used strange magic to murder. If he'd said that, it would only have cast doubt on his sanity. No, not only that, he himself couldn't understand what he had seen and was doubting his own sanity. But regardless of sex or appearance, regardless of whether it was done with magic or a gun, the fact that those girls had followed Kenzo's orders and killed 6 people in an instant was an unshakable truth. If that group came to attack the guest house as well, what would happen? Just closing the doors and windows like this was surely meaningless. Goda. Sometimes you just gotta do something even if you know it's meaningless. Goda and Kumasawa, the only thing left for those two who had witnessed the massacre in the dining hall, was to cradle their heads without knowing how to interpret what they had seen.
Kumasawa-san, 大丈夫?
No, I watched a bunch of people get slaughtered.
お茶飲む?
No, I really don't have an appetite.
ありがとうございますね。申し訳ございませんが、しばらくそっとしていただけますか。
Maria tried to be nice, but it seemed that Kumasawa still hadn't been able to clear away her confusion.
マリア、気を使ってくれてありがとうだぜ。熊沢さんは休ませてやってくれ。
Jessica was also worried about the shock of those two must have received after witnessing such a tragedy. But her wildest dreams couldn't even come close to the unbelievable scene Kumasawa had witnessed. Nevertheless, with her mother murdered and her father captured, it wasn't as though Jessica could stay calm either. She steeled her anxiety and sadness using her anger towards Kenzo and walked irritatedly around the room.
熊沢さん、母さんは本当に
あんなひどい死に方を私は。
ひょっとするとまだ生きて手当てをすれば助かないんだよな。
No.
頭があんなことになって生きていられるわけが。
Yeah, it's really unlikely.
そりゃそうだぜ。頭が砕けちまったら手当てなんて必要ねえよな。
Yeah, usually. Usually that is the sign of no return. When Goda had come flying into the guest house, he had overcome with agitation, told about the massacre in the dining hall without concealing anything, except for a part about witches and magic, which they themselves couldn't believe. In other words, he hadn't such sugar-coated the cold-blooded way in which Natsui and the others had died. It was too late now for her, but Kumasawa regretted the fact that they'd obviously said too much. Yeah, they really did. I wouldn't have done that. However, while lightly shaking her head and with a slightly painful laugh, Jessica spoke.
いや、むしろ話してくれたおかげで冷静になれたぜ。
What?
頭を砕かれちまったってところを伏せられてたら、私はひょっとすると生きてるかもしれないって言って、屋敷へ向かいじいさま来て食わして、ひょっとすると殺されてたかもしれない。一抹の希望が命取りになった可能性だってあるわけさ。その意味では感謝してるよ。
本当に申し訳ございません。言葉をあまりに選ばなかったことはお詫びします。
今はいいよ。母さんはもうどうしようもないけど、父さんはまだ生きてる。カノン君もシャノンもキリエおばさんも南條先生もね。なんとか彼らを助けたいし、彼らに負担をかけないためにも余計なことをするべきではない。電話の前で待機してることが今は一番の協力になるかもしれないし、
They might receive a phone call asking them to create a diversion while the others escaped, or the others might discover their location and call for rescue. Jessica understood that in order to act promptly when the time came, the only thing they could do for the time being was to wait in this room. Once they'd finished inspecting the downstairs area and locking up, George, Battler, and Goda returned. Each was holding various objects. George had things like drinks, canned food, crackers, and other types of snacks he had found in the lounge and a storage room, as well as a first aid kit. I guess we'll need that. In case, Maria trips over her own feet and scratches her knees or something. They were all consumable that would be essential during a siege. Goda had a large folding ladder and carpentry tools. We're gonna build a house? They were to seal the door from the inside just in case. Yeah, I know, it's just... come on. It came to the ladder... if it came to it, the ladder was for escaping out the window. What? You're gonna just throw the ladder outside? What? Lower it down out the window? That's just awkward. Just jump out the window. It saves you way more time. Fowler had brought up objects that could be used as edged weapons or poles. In addition to obvious kitchen knife, there was a disassembled table leg that could be used as a club. You need to form, a bunch of, spear-shaped things so we can actually attack at range. And a pole roughly the size of a person, which he'd apparently made by taking apart a hat stand. Even though the pole had no point, it would surely be used like a spear. You can probably, rig a knife to the end of it and create a makeshift spear. There was a good chance that their enemies had guns, so it was dubious whether these would be of any use. Then the bed itself were placed up against the door, barricading it. They didn't do it. They didn't go so far as to seal it up with nails. I would. Fuck that. There's still a chance that Cross and the others would escape and come up to meet with them. I would tell them just to go into the room across from us because I'm not opening this door. They had apparently set up a barricade at the top of the stairs as well. It had been set up in a way that would create a racket, so it would serve as a warning alarm as well. That had apparently been Battler's idea. Sure. For that reason, they turned the TV off. This way, if the first floor window were to be broken, they would hear. Once the switch had been turned, all that was left was an eerie silence. The sound of violent wind and rain, where they were going to have to spend the whole night, my night being crushed by such suspense. The boat would come tomorrow morning. Just kidding, it's actually been tomorrow afterwards. However, judging by the weather report, most of the tomorrow was going to be covered in the typhoon, and the boat probably wouldn't come. The typhoon was set to pass by in the morning of the day after tomorrow. In other words, the boat would be arriving in the morning after next, the morning of October 6th. And right now it was late at night on October 4th. They would have to spend more than 30 hours on this island, with Kenzo turned cold-blooded murderer and his weird companions prowling about, which is why I would nail up that door. Fuck it. Because you can always just remove the nails afterwards. Because I don't know how many nails he actually brought, but you can just remove them afterwards, because I assume he also brought a hammer, because it would be useless without it. So, I don't know. I would be boarding up that door, because I'm not stupid.